Hey there, this is meteorologist Ben Peine in a different location in a bunker somewhere in southern Indiana as we are tracking the threat of severe weather. Actually, I am in my mom's basement. What better place to be if you're tracking a threat of severe weather than in a basement? So, this is what we're looking at here. So far, um, we have a tornado watch until 11 p.m. for most of the area. So I can zoom into this. I just want to give you an update as the severe weather threat starts to ramp up across the area. So this is the live radar sweep, and this is there are several tornado warnings off to the southwest of us right now and off to the north. Now, if you were watching this morning, I was talking about how there could be a bit of a gap somewhere. So that was kind of showing southern Indiana. Right now, they're getting hammered up towards Indianapolis, Bloomington, and then off to the southwest in western Kentucky. There's a very strong cell there and a tornado warning there. So in the middle, so far, so good. There's still a significant threat of severe weather that we are watching here for this evening. Just want to make sure we're up and good and that everything is working properly here. All right. All right. Looks like we are up and rolling. And so, again, I'm meteorologist Ben Peine. If you're just tuning in here, this is an Extol Weather Extra. Of course, typically you're going to see me on Ben at 10 on all of our social media platforms. So thanks for tuning in here. Beverly Hagist, always the first to join in. Good evening from Borden, Indiana. It is starting to get dark out there. Yeah, the sky is darkening a bit across the area. So right now, again, here's the setup. We've got a tornado watch until 11 p.m. That's 10 p.m. Central Time. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tornado warnings that I'm seeing on the screen right here. I can go ahead and bring this up full screen. We'll do a little tour of the radar. And then, if things aren't going crazy, we may take a little break if there's just not a whole lot to talk about until we get some warnings to fire up. And again, if you're just tuning in, what better place to be tracking a threat of severe weather than in a basement? So that is a good time to tell you what to do, where to go. So have that safe place ready to go. Maybe a severe weather safety kit, including first aid, pillows, blankets, snacks, cell phone charger, all that good stuff. Just play it safe. Of course, you get ready for the worst, you hope for the best. And right now, there's space between the storms. There's some individual strong storms starting to fire up west of I-65, and that's what we're going to be doing a tour of here in just a second. It looks like Tanya tagging somebody there, and Mike Arnold saying nothing yet in Shepherdsville. Yeah, nothing. There's not much happening across the area. Mike Duval, hello to you. Jackie Gordon, happy to be here with you. And Jackie saying it's scary, no wind blowing. Yeah, it's kind of a darkening sky. It's been a little bit gusty out there. And Lindsay Golden Shoe saying, I wish you were watching some baseball right now instead of nasty storms. Yeah, playing it safe. Had to make a decision there, obviously, with the tornado watch. You don't want folks driving home in that chance of severe weather. So there are a lot of cancelizations as far as after school sports today. Let me go ahead and go full screen here for you, and we'll just do a little bit of a tour of what's happening across the area. So again, that pink area, that is the tornado watch. I'll just leave that up for now. There is a strong cell up here near Mitchell, Indiana. That's in southeastern Lawrence County, south of Bedford. Looks like it's got a bit of a hail core there just to the northeast of the downtown Mitchell area. So it looks like there could be some hail coming down right there. And then heavy rain spreading east and southeast of the central supercell core there off towards Campbellsburg. There is not a warning on that, but they're just off to the northwest, heading towards Bloomington, Indiana. That is a severe thunderstorm warning. However, there's a tornado warning there as well. So that is moving east at 43 miles per hour. And that is an observed tornado. That means it's on the ground. That is not a radar indicated tornado. That is a a tornado on the ground there just off to the west of Bloomington, to the west of IU. So that is the closest tornado warning that we have at this time. I do have a lot of friends and family up here in Indianapolis, where there are strong thunderstorms moving through downtown Indianapolis. And this says maximum wind gusts around 80 miles per hour. So we're talking about straight line winds. Got a lot of family up here, up I-69 towards Fortville and Pendleton. So it looks like the worst of that staying south of there. And then north of Seymour, there's a cell. We've got regular old rainfall. And I'm about to turn off the tornado watch area here in just a second. North of Pekin, between Pekin and Salem, you've got just a regular old shower. Nothing happening in Louisville right now. A cell starting to pop up right on just out to the west of the Breckenridge and Perry County line. And then this is a cell that has been long lived and northwest of Hopkinsville. That is a tornado warning. Moving east at 53. That is an observed tornado. Again, not radar indicated. That's near the lakes down there in western Kentucky. So there is some active weather out there, and we're just going to kind of watch it closely. And eventually this could kind of congeal into a squall line of severe storms. Let me go ahead and back out of this view and go ahead and get rid of that watch box and kind of clear this up a little bit here. All right. So again, you're watching here live. We got a little live stream popping up. Just want to give you a heads up on what's happening across the area. And so far, we're doing okay. We do not have any warnings within what I would call, our viewing area in southern Indiana. Except it looks like we got our first severe thunderstorm warning here. And this is for that cell I was just talking about up in near Bedford, Indiana, and near Mitchell. So just to the northeast of Mitchell. They just popped a severe thunderstorm warning on that from the Indianapolis office. And I'm also looking at the National Weather Service chat while we do this as well. So tornado reported on, they're saying tornado reported on the ground minutes ago in the southeastern part of Lyon County, Kentucky. Hail core is in Caldwell County. On a call with the Storm Prediction Center now discussing possible extension on the tornado watch. So the tornado watch goes until 11 p.m., covering much of the area. And they're talking about with the National Weather Service, the local National Weather Service talking with the Storm Prediction Center, which is out in Norman, Oklahoma, to extend the watch farther off to the east. So this is our closest severe thunderstorm warning. Storm motion to the northeast at about 50, large hail threat, and also maximum wind gusts at around 60 miles per hour. Campbellsburg in that. Are you talking about the watch? So here's the watch right now, which does not include Campbellsburg, but will if they extend the watch, it would include Campbellsburg there, Sarah. So Sarah was asking that. If you're looking at the comments here, Sarah, thank you for that comment. So Peggy asking, what about Louisville area? You're under a tornado watch until 11 p.m. We just all need to be alert over the next several hours. If a warning, this is so simple. We say it every time. No matter what the degree of severe weather, whether it's a particularly dangerous situation, a PDS watch, like your highest level watch, everything's the same. If a warning's issued, be ready to seek shelter immediately. A lot of times these things only last 15 minutes. They're in and out, and then we're all good. So just do the same thing you would always do to stay safe is the main thing that we always talk about. The warning, no, the warning is, Sarah, the warning is not in Campbellsburg right now. They're talking about extending the watch out that way. All right, we got LaDonna watching from Breckenridge County. Thank you for tuning in there. And Nina, happy to be here. And we got Tanya popping in here. So glad you're with Extol. You've always been the best at explaining weather and really care for us. Thank you very much for watching here tonight as well. Just looking over some of the comments. While we don't have many warnings at this time. We can go ahead and do a track on this one, though, if we want to go ahead and pop up the tracks here. And I need to pull this up over this direction. And then, so this guy here was tracking northeast at about 50 miles per hour. And so on that track, we can see here, I'm going to go ahead and bring this up full screen so you can see this a little bit better. And I'll get my face out of the way for you. So on that track, if you're up there now in southwestern Jackson County, Indiana, there's a hail core there just south of Highway 50, southeast of Bedford. Not seeing a rotation with this at this time, so not a tornado threat, but it is a severe thunderstorm warning. And so that is a look at heading towards Seymour, it looks like, by around 7:30, next 20 minutes or so, on moving northeast there at about almost 50 miles per hour. Jonesville at about 7:35 into Vernon, North Vernon, might be clipping your area at around 7:40 to 7:50 in the Westport, Indiana, as we close in on 8 p.m. So there's that track there. We go back out of full screen for a minute, and we'll get rid of that track. Really booming up here in central Indiana. There are several severe thunderstorm warnings. There are also several tornado warnings in east central Illinois. So again, we're popping on a little bit early before that main threat moves in. And if you're watching Ben at 10 earlier today, we were talking about how the main threat was likely going to be from around 7 until 10 p.m. for southern Indiana. So right now it's 7 o'clock. We're starting to see some cells fire up. Will we see some areas get, gapped or get the storm dodge? I think that will happen, but it's kind of random in this scenario. You've got a really warm, moist, explosive atmosphere that wants to explode. You've got this front that's starting to move in. You've got the ingredients for the potential of severe weather. So it's one of those scenarios where we're under a moderate risk of severe weather across the area. We've been trying to prepare you with that all day long. And so you just got everything ripe. Everything's pretty juicy out there for the potential of severe storms. Just looking back over the chat with the National Weather Service, see if anything's happening with them. And we have Sandra Land from Greensburg, Kentucky. Thanks for watching there. And Sarah, love that you're in the basement. Actually, my mom's basement. So here's the scenario. I've got Starlink at home. I've got all the same technology I would have at Extol Media Studios here right in front of me. And Starlink is great. We get fast upload, download speeds. But if we get a storm over us, we get heavy rain, it will block out the internet. My mom's got high-speed spectrum. It's probably the place to be. Now, I've got a 75-year-old mom upstairs and a 98-year young grandma upstairs. And they could be stubborn. If we get a warning, I've got to go up there and drag them down here. They probably want to be looking out the window and see what's going on. And then I've got in my neighborhood just down the road is where I live, and then that's where my family's at, and that would be taking shelter if there was a warning issued for our area. So that's the scenario. What better place to be tracking the potential of severe storms than in a basement? Looking over some of the comments, Amber Mead checking in from Orange County. I'm going to leave the radar up here for a second as we look over some of these comments. I'll go ahead and put this up in the full screen. We'll do some tracking on what we have out there here in just a second. And there is southwest of Louisville, some cells going up there in Breckenridge County that crosses over into southern Perry County. And then just some regular rain in western Harrison County into Crawford County. Sky getting darker there as we zoom in a little bit, and you can see that. There's that one severe thunderstorm warning that we have. It's moving pretty quickly, starting to move pretty soon out of the eastern sections of Lawrence County in Indiana and into Jackson County. So there you see hail core is right now right here in eastern, right on the county line, basically. Lawrence County and Jackson County in Indiana. So it looks like there's a potential of quarter-size hail for that. And let me see something real quick here. So this is South County Road 1250. Whoop, right there. And then you got US Highway 50 here. So that hail core looks like it. There's Leesville Road, if you're familiar with that. County Road 850 East, if we have some folks up here in the Highway 50 area, right on the Lawrence and Jackson County line, and that's Middle Leesville Road. And this is going to be heading right towards Highway 50, moving northeast if it's not already. West County Road 90. A lot of county roads. There's Curry Road. So that's the hail core with that. Let me go ahead and take the labels off here. And we'll move on out. So that is a zoomed in look at a pretty good cell, super cell, we'll go ahead and call it. Heading towards Brownstown with heavy rainfall. Medora, there could be some isolated damaging wind gusts around 60 miles per hour. Heads up for our friends in Seymour, heading your direction, and then up toward the northern portions of Jackson County, Indiana, out towards 258 and 58 and 135. So there, watch out there in northern Jackson County. Strong thunderstorm moving over the East Fork of the White River. And then off to the south, again, regular rain starting to expand a little bit more there over the Corden area. That is just plain rain. These cells starting to look a little more impressive. They're pretty ragged, not seeing any rotation with it at this time. And then a destructive tornado down here in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Now, there has been a tornado on the ground there, and there's a tag on that that says it is destructive. That's radar indicated right now. Earlier, that was an observed tornado. You got, as you go here towards the Boot Heel of Missouri and towards southern Illinois, some tornado warnings there. And then heading towards Terre Haute, there are a couple tornado warnings. So just starting to fire up now and move into southern Indiana. And this is a special weather statement that they just put out. That's not a warning, but a special weather statement here as we go into Breckinridge County. So just along and north of Hardinsburg, Irvington, and then the northern section of Breckinridge County and then southern Perry County. This is a special weather statement that says this storm is moving east at around 50 miles per hour. And that indicates that there is a pretty decent airflow. We got a decent jet starting to move over our region. So you got some strong winds aloft starting to push these things around. And it also tilts the storms. We talked about some of the science with that, which would allow these things to grow pretty strong, become systems, inflow, outflow, and become supercell thunderstorms capable of doing some bad things. And that's why we're here with you live. All right, so this is moving east at 50, maximum hail about ½ inch, maximum wind gust at around 40. As we watch the live sweeps, so the live sweep here is coming out of Fort Knox. You can see that sweeping right there. And we're starting to see this kind of pulse up a little bit more. It looks like a little bit of a hail core here just off to the southwest of Irvington, Kentucky. So those are a couple of the strongest so far that we're watching. Let me check out some of the comments, and I'll leave the radar view up here for a second. Oh, okay. By the way, while I was jabbering on about this stuff, so I was telling you earlier in the National Weather Service, the local National Weather Service chat, the tornado watch has been extended to include basically all of Kentucky, pretty much all of southern Indiana, central Indiana, into Ohio. So that is an expansion of the tornado watch. And so this tornado watch goes until 3 a.m., this eastern portion of it. It is not what is called a PDS, particularly dangerous situation. So we treat them both the same. So this is a tornado watch. All right, let's expand the view. And look at this very large. Let me clear off the radar product. And I just want to show you, and we'll get rid of, I'm going to turn the radar off. There's all kinds of stuff going on with these cells out there. Let me get rid of a lot of other stuff as well. I'm going to get rid of the warnings, everything, and just the watch. Just give me a second. All right, then we got rid of pretty much everything here. All right, so look at the size. Let me go full screen, and I'll get to some comments here in just a second. The size of this tornado watch. You don't see one this big. So we have a moderate risk of severe storms. No surprise. I was talking all day. We'd probably get a tornado watch by late afternoon, early evening. Here we go. And this tornado watch is all the way in north central Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, southeastern Illinois, most of Indiana, all of Kentucky, all of the Commonwealth under a tornado watch, and then southwestern half of Ohio. So again, explosive atmosphere. You got ingredients for severe weather. That's why every meteorologist around the Ohio Valley is taking this one seriously. All right, let me go ahead and put some things back on here that we want to know about, which is the warnings that we have across the area, and obviously our local radar. We'll go ahead and put that back on as well. And I can pop up some storm reports to just see what we have seen so far. There's a report of a tornado in St. Louis. I think the Central West End there had a tornado that touched down. So these are the storm reports so far, and we'll take a look at what has happened, what has been a history with these storms too. And let me get to some comments here. We've got Tyler from DePaul, Indiana. Thanks for tuning in here. Josh Hunt, downtown Louisville, Kentucky. Thanks for tuning in. Sheila Milburn from Georgetown, Indiana. And Ted, got to finish that basement office. No, we're not going to finish this one. It's my mom's basement. She's actually got an office upstairs. We've got Laura Lee. Will the main line coming through be approaching northern Hardin County? Just came in. So we got a while here, Laura Lee. This watch for you goes until 11 p.m. There's these initial kind of discrete supercells right now, but then we could see a squall line kind of congeal a little bit later tonight. And actually, this thing might slow down and park over central Kentucky late night after midnight. So it could be a longer night for you guys in central Kentucky. So stay tuned there. We've got Mimi Jo Banks from Sellersburg tuning in to our live stream here this Friday evening, May 16th. Hoping it passes over and loses and weakens. We all hope that, and we all hope we can just do a total storm dodge. But again, this threat is so high, I got to take it seriously. Hopefully, a lot of our area will dodge it. That is always the hope. I hate severe weather. Roger Fry from Rineyville, Kentucky. Thank you for watching there. We've got a question from Amber. When is the line developing? When will it hit West Baden? All right, so I'll bring up the high resolution rapid refresh weather model, see how it is doing, picking up things, and we'll kind of time that out. But I would say over the next 2 hours is when you need to continue to be very weather aware. Jackie, thank you for that comment there. I'm getting a lot of comments. Try to catch up here. We've got Josh Olds live in Newcastle, Henry County. Love that area. Beautiful rolling hills out there. But watching from Niagara Falls, Canada. How about that? We're going international here. Josh asking how bad will the storms be? When will they come down? Again, individual cells right now. There's a new SPS I'll show you here in just a second, just south of Louisville. So you might, if you get unlucky, you might get one of these individual cells over the next, say, hour, and then that line will congeal and start to move through a lot of our area, kind of bumping up to I-65. I'd say as we head towards like that 9 p.m. time period, we'll kind of watch out there, 9:10. Robin Edwards, thanks for keeping us updated. Sure thing. And Sarah says, I watched, asks in the NAM, had the gap. Yeah. I remember your comment there. It was a good question. Michelle saying, so it doesn't look like it's going to be bad in Corydon. Do not let your guard down there. I would say the main event has not even arrived into Indiana. So we're waiting to see if this line will, again, kind of congeal out to the west. These things can fire up very quickly. Just cruising through the comments, and then we'll get to some storm reports. Thankfully, there's nothing too serious happening at the moment. Check back in on Jackson County, by the way. The severe thunderstorm warning there expires in 20 minutes. Heads up Seymour. There you can see hail core heading your way. It's over Brownstown right now. Pretty good hail core. So you could have up to probably quarter size, inch size hail that can do damage to some roofs of homes. That's heading towards Seymour. So hopefully you've got the car in the garage there around Seymour. As we look off to the south, try to slow down the radar movements for you, by the way, so they're not so quick and jerky. I am working on that. So just north of Crothersville, a little bit of hail coming down there likely. And then that stretches just off to the north of Austin, Scottsburg here you can see, and to the east of Austin is where that cell kind of spreads off to the east down 256, straight east of Austin, which heads right to Madison, Indiana. But it looks like this storm may just stay north of you there in Madison and might clip there parts of North Vernon. Little cell, this is kind of the example that these things can just kind of randomly pop up and you don't know how strong they're going to get. They can explode very quickly in this atmosphere. So Newcastle, Henry County, we're just talking about that little cell starting to go up there. Regular rain in Harrison County, Floyd County, going to move into Louisville. And we're likely going to see, and this is just starting to see, this pocket's just starting to get a little bit heavier south of Georgetown. Not severe. I know there's probably a lot of folks do get weather anxiety, severe weather anxiety. This is not severe, heading towards New Albany right now with some rain. And going to move through Jeffersonville as well. But we'll watch it in case it grows. And then you've got a new SPS, special weather statement here. This storm moving east at around 56 miles per hour. You got about half-inch hail, maximum wind gusts around 50 miles per hour. And so there is definitely the potential for some hail here now in Meade County. So Brandenburg getting very, very heavy rainfall. And then southeastern portions of Meade County. That's just to the southwest of Muldrow, Fort Knox, where there's potential, probably nickel-size hail. And then the tail end of those cells there between Irvington and Hardinsburg and Breckenridge County. Let me get rid of the watch here. All right, so we got a watch for everybody. We all got that, right? So let me go and get rid of that so we can just clean things up. All right. Oh, now it's relaxing. We don't have their big flashing new tornado warning here out in southern Illinois. So look at this. So this is something this technology is amazing. So this is in southern Illinois, but an example of what's happening out to our west and why we're taking this serious. This is an observed tornado. You can see it flashing. That is a big time heads up. That tornado damage threat says catastrophic. 1 to 2 inch size hail. So you're looking at golf ball, baseball size hail. All right. So how many tornado warnings are out there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thankfully, not in our area yet. We're just starting to watch things blossom a bit. I know we've been getting a lot of comments. I'm trying to get to them. I don't know why that popped up. All right, stop it. All right, so we've got Mike Lugo, Seymour, Indiana, checking in. So you do have that storm over you guys, so just stay inside until that moves over. Severe thunderstorm warning with that. Potential of some quarter-size hail and some isolated damage and wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour. Gator said Louisville looks good for now. It could be a long night, though, so stay tuned. Mike Perkins, concerned about J-Town and Middletown. Concerned about the entire area under, again, a tornado watch. I'm going to blow my nose. Bear with me. Still dealing with a bit of a tail end of a sinus infection. Schlosson, what state do we cover? Mainly southern Indiana here, but we're also cruising around Kentucky as well. Monica Darty from Hardin County tuning in. And Mike is sitting outside listening to the breeze and the thunder. Amber asking, curious, does the topography cause warm air to sit stagnant and make areas more prone to dangerous weather? No, much larger scale when it comes to these severe weather ingredients. Sarah asking, sun is out in Campbellsburg, wondering if the second wave will be worse. It could be. There are long-lived supercells out west, so staying on guard for through the late night hours, especially you all the way down there in Taylor County, Kentucky. Kyle asking, does it look like the worst will miss us? It's really hard to tell. I'll pop up, since we don't have any warnings for most of our area, I'll pop up the latest hourly weather model data here, and we'll time it out here. Zachary asking, I am in my basement. I am in my mom's basement, actually. So I've got 75-year-old mom, 98-year-old grandma upstairs. All right, Vicky Berger is tuning in here. I'm trying to get to all these comments. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sarah says she's from St. Louis. It looks bad. Yeah, I was trying to get to the storm reports. There were a bunch. Large hail there. There were some tornado reports here with this storm in Train Spotter reported a tornado that's just off to the west of Bloomington. That report was at 7:06, so just 20 minutes ago. Another tornado report. There were 4 tornado reports with that cell in Bloomington. So these discrete individual supercells have been going up. And the weather models were correct, by the way. Earlier this morning, if you're watching our live Ben at 10, if you look up here over, oops, let me get rid of that. I need to make sure I'm on the right spot. So up here, central Indiana, there is, what I've seen up there is a Vort Max, 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, also a low-level jet, a little more energy, a little more kick, making it more organized there in central Indiana for that severe weather threat. We saw that with both of the weather models this morning. That could be worse up there in central Indiana. And then off to the south, we're seeing a trend for now, western Kentucky getting hit right now. In the middle, so far, there's that little bit of a gap, but we're going to have to just wait and see here how this evolves. And if this starts to sort of come together a little bit more, see these individual little cells as well. Sometimes these can explode. We'll just have to watch how this evolves here over the next couple of hours. I definitely do not have all of the answers. This is called nowcasting. We're watching how it evolves as it explodes here, as the weather models are not perfect, and no meteorologist is perfect either. Darcy Gray, yeah, watching from beautiful Valley of Borden. Thanks for tuning in here. Stephen from Irvington and Breckenridge County, just some rumbles of thunder right now. Scott Bell, my father-in-law in Richmond, Indiana, getting dicey. I can help you guys out too. We can go anywhere. We can do anything. So just out to the west of you guys in Richmond, there are severe thunderstorms galore. And I could change the radar view, by the way, to Indianapolis and bring up the live radar there. There's the live radar sweep from Indianapolis. I just switched from Louisville to Indianapolis. It's going to take just a second for that data to pop in. There's a lot going on there in central Indiana, by the way. And I'm trying to get to comments. I'm trying to get to storm reports. Just a lot happening. So stay with me here. So to my family in Indianapolis, we've got one supercell that's east of you. Watch out. Stay on guard here. To my dad, my stepmom, to my brother, my sister in Indianapolis, you still got active weathers to the west of you. And then to my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, sister-in-law, my mother-in-law, everybody here in Richmond. So there's Centerville, there's Richmond. I grew up for a little while in those areas. Severe thunderstorm warning out west of you guys, and that is maximum wind gusts around 70 miles per hour, and it is moving east at 49 miles per hour. So we can do a track on that as it heads right down Interstate 70 toward Richmond, Indiana. So it was saying about 50 miles per hour. Let me clear that one out and do a better one. All right, here we go. We'll go 49 miles per hour. So here's the timing on this storm here. Let me go and bring this up full screen for my family up that direction. So that's heading to Newcastle about 7:40, Rushville 7:42, Cambridge City 7:50 to 55, Hagerstown 7:54, Connorsville at 8 p.m., Centerville 8:05, Richmond 8:10, 8:20, Liberty, Indiana 8:10, 8:15, into New Paris at about 8:20, Eaton, Dayton, Springfield Alive. Used to listen to radio stations out there, and that was there. What was it, 93? I forget. Anyway, let me get off of that full screen. I'm going to clear that manual track there. So that is for you guys there in East Central Indiana. All right, we've got a tornado warning. Here we go. First tornado warning within, I would call, our viewing area. And so this right now, let me click on it. Tornado warning. This goes until 8:15. So this is for East Central, Jackson County, Seymour, into Jennings County. So North Vernon, you're going to be wanting to seek shelter. This is moving east, northeast at about 50 miles per hour. This is radar indicated right now, the potential of quarter to inch size hail with this. Let me go ahead and bring up the base velocity. So this is where we see the rotation. See Seymour right there? Let me go ahead and bring up the telestration. This is the area of rotation. All right, we got our first tornado warning. So this is just south of Seymour. There is the area of rotation that we're watching. And there you can see the motion of that. Let me get rid of that. So moving to the northeast at about 50, you can see that flashing area. That is the tornado warned area. So let me get rid of that. Let me actually get rid of, it's wanting to pop in the severe thunderstorm warning. Bear with me just a second. Let me get out of full screen. So there you can see the motion of this. This is between Crothersville and Seymour, the potential of a tornado on the ground. So be seeking shelter if you're in the North Vernon area. And it looks like this tornado warned area is until 8:15. So that area of rotation right there between Seymour and Crothersville. So we can see the reds and greens next to each other there. Let me go ahead and go back to the regular base reflectivity that you're used to. And so we're on the Indianapolis radar, which is good because we can see it a little bit better here. And I can go ahead and put a track on this one as this moves northeast at about 50 miles per hour. I'm gonna back this up just a second. There we go. And let me get rid of the severe thunderstorm warnings. I just want the tornado warnings up for now. So it's tornado warning again until 8:15, moving east about 50, radar indicated right now. Okay, and then as we draw this track for where the potential tornado is at about 50 miles per hour. I'll go put this full screen so you can see it. If you're living in these areas, that is heading towards Vernon, North Vernon, around 7:50 here very shortly. So that's only in about 10 minutes heading your direction. Be seeking shelter if that is heading your direction. And I'm just looking over. All right, just looking over some National Weather Service chat as well. That is heading towards Versailles, Indiana, Dillsboro, Morris Hill. There you can see that timing of that tornado warning there. Up in Jackson County. And let me get rid of our storm track, clear that out of the way, and zoom into the radar here. So Seymour, it looks like you're in the clear from that severe weather threat. I know that tornado warning is still over your area, but it looks like that threat is now east of you. This expires in about 35 minutes. We got a hail core just off to the southwest of North Vernon in Jennings County, Indiana. And I'll go ahead and bring this up full screen so you can see it a little bit better. There you see let me get rid of my face. There you can see that tornado warning area. So just want to pause it here. If you know some folks in North Vernon, have them be seeking shelter, or the Vernon area between DuPont and North Vernon is where it's kind of cruising along and south of Highway 50 is where we have a tornado warning. This is radar indicated, not 100% that it's happening, but it's radar indicated. We are seeing some rotation in this storm. Again, I'll get back to comments once I've got time to do so. Thank you so much for giving us all these comments as well. I'm going to go to the base velocity. So this is a look at the speeds of these pixels. So this is showing. Let me go hold on just one second. Very strong wind speeds in this severe thunderstorm. All right, let me pop up. There's reflectivity, base velocities. Have a little bit of trouble loading here for a second. Look at all these tornado warnings up in central Indiana, by the way. Let me go ahead and pop on the Louisville radar. And let me get rid of that. So this will take just a second to load as it pops in the Louisville radar. Again, I'm meteorologist Ben Peine here. It is 7:42. Watching the threat of severe storms. Thankfully, a handful of tornado warnings, thankfully for us, handful of tornadoes warnings to the north of southern Indiana, and a few tornado warnings to the southwest over western Kentucky and southern Illinois. So starting to ramp things up out that direction right now. And let me get rid of some of the storm reports. Sometimes it gets a little cluttered when you've got a lot of data going on. So, all right, back to the reflectivity here as we look off to the north. And we're going to put the map back up here for you. This is tornado warning until 8:15 for Jennings County, Kentucky. Or Indiana, sorry. My goodness. Jennings County, Indiana. So we got some rotation that we were watching. So the wind speed's not as strong with the Louisville radar here. So looks like there's a potential for some rotation here along I-65 heading towards North Vernon. Jennings County be seeking shelter as you have a tornado warning until 8:15. All right, let's go a little bit farther south. I'm going to put on the regular reflectivity, and I'll put back on the severe thunderstorm warnings as well. And we're going to back up our view. just kind of get back to the overview of what's going on. So the one tornado warning, I would say, within our area of southern Indiana, there is in Jennings County, Indiana, including North Vernon. Off to the south of Louisville, you're probably seeing a darkening sky south of downtown. You got heavy rain here around just south of the Snyder, around Fairdale, around South Park Country Club, Minor Lane Heights, down Minor Lane, down towards PRP, Jefferson Memorial Forest, into Bullitt County. We got a cell that's firing up here into Bullitt County, south of Mount Washington. Might get a little bit of hail out of this, some gusty winds. It is not severe at this time. And then still a tornado warning down towards Hopkinsville. So right now, you just have some clusters of activity going on. And there's my mom popping in here not too long ago. It's so good to keep people informed and safe. My mom's right upstairs, by the way. That comment was, what, 15 minutes old. Sorry, I'm not getting to the comments. I've been trying to track here a little bit. So the overview here is tornado watch. Look at that huge tornado watch. We've got two of them. One that goes up, basically bumps up to I-65 until 11 p.m. And then we've got this other tornado watch that goes until 3 a.m. that covers eastern Kentucky. So just being prepared. We're getting on a little bit early before the main line is moved through. Let me give the radar a break because it is chugging on a whole lot of data right now, and we'll bring up the future weather model data. All right. Now it looks like we need to get rid of some tracks on this. Bear with me here. We'll get rid of all this stuff. Give the radar a break. Give the radar a break. Make sure the radar's off. Okay. So let me go back in time here. We're gonna go load up the HRRR weather model. Today is the 16th, and it is now 7 p.m. How is the weather model doing? It's showing that kind of clustery stuff around the area. I mean, it's not perfect. It's not perfect, but it's showing what we have. Decent placement, most of it west of I-65 right now. And then this is showing here in like 15 minutes, 8 o'clock. It's kind of showing blobby more than what's really out there, but this is around 9 p.m. Excuse me. And then 10 o'clock. So by 10 o'clock, a couple of hours, it looks like southern Indiana will be wrapping up the severe weather threat. This is future radar. This is not radar happening right now. And then still rocking and rolling in Kentucky for later on in the nighttime. We'll go to 11 o'clock. And what's happening here, while it's taking its sweet time, as this moves into Kentucky, it looks like it's going to be the upper level winds are going to be kind of parallel to the surface front, and that slows things down. You're not getting a push out of here. So then we're going to have to watch out for the potential, maybe some flash flooding in some spots. And obviously that's another issue. Frequent cloud to ground lightning, damaging wind, large hail, tornado threat, all out there, all on the table here. As I show this to you again, this is around 11 o'clock. This is at midnight. And then this here, you see how it's congealing into just a big line of a mess over the region. Just looking over some of the comments here, bear with me. There might be some pauses in the coverage from time to time. So National Weather Service saying just now, the cap or the lid in the 700 to 800 millibar level, so that's around 10,000 feet, that's been keeping the storms from exploding. Let me put the radar back on. That was just a quick look at the future radar. We'll go back to the live sweep. Let me get rid of the watch, by the way. We'll just clean this up. All right. So now we have a severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, for Louisville. This goes until 8:15. Hail size up to about 1 inch. Wind gusts at around 60 miles per hour. So severe thunderstorm warning. Let me get rid of some of this other stuff too. Sometimes less is more when you have a lot of data going on. All right, so severe thunderstorm warning, southern sections of Metro Louisville. That's kind of along the Snyder into Bullitt County. There's like little cores kind of embedded in this cluster that could produce some hail and some damaging winds. So that is the closest severe thunderstorm warning at this time. So you can see the nature of these. They can just kind of explode. Back to what the National Weather Service was saying. 700, 800 millibar level. That's 10,000 feet. There was a lid keeping the storms from growing. Has eroded. This can be seen in the latest ACARS sounding. That's the airplane going up. Airplanes taking off at Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport, and they're getting data through the depth of the atmosphere. This can be seen at least over the next couple of hours. The low-level jet should begin strengthening with the strongest part of the jet, 70 knots, 75 miles per hour, moving east over southern Kentucky. One limiting factor with tornado development with the lone supercell near Todd County are surface winds from the southwest. When the wind's back at service with the system, expect it to wrap up. So just kind of, they're just telling you about the ingredients that are out there with the severe weather threat. And Weather Service saying not liking the continued slow but steady upscale growth of the cells in South Louisville. And that's why we've got the severe thunderstorm warning out for South Louisville, small tiny portion of northern Nelson County, Bullitt County, Spencer County, Kentucky, and into Shelby County, Kentucky until 8:15. Then they're also talking about Todd County out in western Kentucky with that long-lived supercell out towards Bowling Green. So just a heads up, if you know some folks in western Kentucky there, just to the west of Bowling Green, WKU, the Hilltoppers there, watch out. Tornado warning just out to the west. Bunch of warnings about to move from Illinois into western Kentucky, and then let me get rid of this. Still have a tornado warning for until 8:15 for Jennings County, Indiana. Does not look that impressive to me, though. Get rid of that. So this is now over Highway 3, starting to move east of Highway 3, eastern Jennings County, Indiana. It looks like North Vernon, with this individual cell, you're going to be in the clear. It's starting to move it to the east of you. That tornado warning, again, until 8:15. Radar indicated. I don't have a report of it on the ground. More tornado warnings up here in central Indiana. Look at all these warnings. It's busy up in central Indiana. So that is basically between Seymour and right around the Columbus, Indiana area. They've got a couple tornado warnings there. And then more tornado warnings southwest of Indianapolis. And then now Richmond, Indiana. Again, I got family up here under a severe thunderstorm warning. Let me click on the Indianapolis radar. KIND is the Indianapolis radar. It's going to take just a second to load some of this data. Look at all these warnings over central Indiana. It is wild. So you've got a severe thunderstorm warning. This storm moving east at 55 miles per hour. I mean, all of east central Indiana is under a severe thunderstorm warning. So you can have some winds in excess of 60 miles per hour and 3/4 inch hail. And again, that threat diminishing here as we get a little bit closer. Let me get rid of this. We've got just 1 second. Just clearing off some of this stuff. So here is Jennings County. You got hail, you get strong winds along and south of Highway 50, between DuPont and Highway 50. Worst of it starting to move east of you in North Vernon. So you're going to be in the clear there very soon from that tornado warned storm. All right. Let's put back on the Louisville radar. Okay, LBX. So big gaps between the storms right now. A lot of real estate between the severe thunderstorm warning in Louisville and Bullitt County in Indiana, and then next storms all the way up in North Vernon, Indiana, and then next storm south is all the way down just west of Bowling Green. So just waiting on this to see if this will eventually kind of congeal into kind of a broken line of severe storms. But right now, the worst in central Indiana, the worst kind of moving into southern Illinois and western Kentucky right now. For now, though, there you see the storms that we have. Severe thunderstorm warning there. Bullitt County, southeastern Jefferson County, Kentucky, Spencer County, and into Shelby County. That goes until 8:15. I'm going to leave this up for a second while I look over some of the comments that we have out there right now. Rich Carlson there. Got hail in Okolona. Thank you for that hail report. John Fox, same in Highview. Sunny and windy in Paoli, Indiana. So Kyle saying, do we see any tornado activity for southern Indiana, Clark, and Floyd County? Not right now. We're going to still be on guard over the next couple of hours on how the storms out west behave. Will they fill in? There's still a lot of question marks there, Kyle. So we are still waiting to see how it evolves as we have a tornado watch until 11 p.m. And then that tornado watch for areas east of I-65 goes for later on into the nighttime. Sue Schaefer, thanks for tuning in here. Getting crazy, Kyle Ramey says, in North Vernon. Thankfully, it looks like that's starting to move east of you there. Hopefully no danger. Asher, my nephew. Hey, Uncle Ben, we were watching at Grandma's. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And I can keep popping in the Indianapolis radar. I've been peeking up that way. We're going north of Edinburgh, the shop's there. Indianapolis has a break right now. I'm popping in Indianapolis's radar. You're going to see the data pop on once it loads up here in a second. But tornado warnings lining up south of Indianapolis right now. So here is Indianapolis. You guys have a break for the moment. Severe thunderstorms east of you. Look at all of the severe thunderstorm warnings east of Indianapolis. Bunch of tornado warnings southeast around Columbus. And then we've got these last storms we need to get through over the next few hours here, over the next couple of hours. Those are moving towards the Indianapolis area. So we just got to watch these guys out to your west. And let me click on this one here that is out west. You guys, this is moving east at 45 miles per hour. Let me try to do a track on that one. And let me give the live radar a break. It's still going to pop in radar, but I'm giving the high def a little bit of a break. Click and drag this as this moves at about 45 miles per hour. I'm going to bring this up full screen. So this is for my family up in Indianapolis. Here is the track on this. So severe thunderstorm warning, not for Indy right now, but it's going to be heading your direction. So it's got it heading towards Plainfield 820, Speedway 830, Zionsville 830, Indianapolis around 830, 840, and the Carmel 840, give or take. I've just kind of got it in the front of the blob here. You can get some hail, you can get some damaging winds. Spin up tornado going to be possible. There you see into the Fishers area at about 850. So again, give or take, that's kind of the time frame there for Indianapolis. All right, we'll check back in with you guys in a little bit. I'm going to get rid of this track. And we're going to move on down south. Severe thunderstorm warning continues until 8:15, 15 more minutes here for southern sections. We've had some hail reports of Jefferson County, Kentucky. We've had some hail reports there, possibly some gusty winds as well. All right, I'm going to take off this view of the radar, and we'll bring back up the live scan. And we'll bring up KLBX, the Louisville radar. Trying to look at some comments here. We've got Karen French watching from Borden. Beverly Haggis, my mom was in Lanesville. Starting to rain there. Oh. Let me make sure it's activated. And I might have to, if this thing's been chugging on a bunch of data, we might have to reload every once in a while. And then I need to get rid of all this stuff. Sorry, bear with me. We're resetting the data real quick. Just take a look here. All right, there's this Stanford Field radar. Trying to get the data to pop in. All right, there we go. Radar's back on. Let me get rid of storm reports. Clean up the radar. So it expires in 13 minutes. Severe thunderstorm warning there. Still Bullitt County, Spencer County, southeastern Jefferson County, and into Shelby County in Kentucky. And again, a lot of space between that and that storm up in North Vernon that's moving to the northeast up in Jennings County and then down in Bowling Green. Not much happening in between right now. And I can go ahead and actually bring up storm. Have we had any? We haven't had many storm reports. We've got one up here in Jennings County. There was hail there. It was like dime size hail. I'm just looking at the storm reports. All right, so there, you guys are pretty much in the clear there. And Jennings County, it's going to be moving out of your area very soon. Strong thunderstorm here with severe thunderstorm warning in Louisville. Again, not much happening in between right now. And I'll pop up the futurecast here in just a moment. Hopefully a lot of our area can do a storm dodge, and then that would be awesome. Hopefully. But we just got to still wait and kind of see how this evolves. Linda, happy to be here. We're just kind of a chill vibe here as we're watching the potential for severe storms. Thanks for tuning in here. By the way, just going to pop in some information there at the bottom. If you do have any problems, 812-294-3595, Lions Roofing, lionsroofingco.com can help you after the storm protect your most valuable asset. Looking back over the comments here. Sun's back out in French Lick. Sun not out behind me here. I've got some French doors behind me. I can look out. But the sun is about to set. Lucinda Lewis, howdy to you. Thanks for keeping us safe. Thankfully, Mother Nature's keeping us safe so far. So far. Jordan, what's up? Appreciate all the information. No problem. Nothing crazy happening right now. Severe thunderstorm warning down towards Bowling Green. Severe thunderstorm warning about to move out of Louisville, basically near the Fisherville area. Still very heavy rain. Probably some right near Fort Knox towards Shepherdsville. You've got a little bit of hail. Mount Washington, some heavy rainfall. Taylorsville, heavy rain. It's going to be sliding into the Shelby County area. But look at this. Southern Indiana in the gap zone right now. Not seeing any warnings at this time. We are in good shape. So if we end up running out of things to talk about, we may just have to take a break. I'll keep an eye on it, and we might have to jump back in once things start popping a little bit later, if they do. But right now, things fairly quiet. Looking over some of the comments in case I missed somebody. Ted Ludwood saying some hail in Highview a little bit earlier. Thank you for that report there, Ted. Seymour's in the clear for now. Yeah. Mike, you're in good shape for now. Just getting your comment in here. Sorry if I missed some earlier comments. There have been a lot coming in. Thank you so much for commenting and watching here, by the way. Things pretty quiet at the moment. Let me get rid of the storm reports. And we'll put back on the tornado warnings. So, yeah, there's still a lot going on in central Indiana. There's a lot. Let me put on the radar and satellite. We can actually look at we haven't looked at the satellite yet. RadSat. Here's the RadSat. Oh my gosh, let me get rid of so much stuff going on. Why do I have so many things on here? Let's get rid of all of these warnings and watches. Let's just take a look at the radar and satellite. Let's put it on a loop. Yeah. And get rid of the storm report. Storm report should not be on there. Oh, I know what those are. We got to get rid of these guys too. There we go. There's the cleaned up version of what's happening across the area. Again, we can take a minute to look around what's happening. You see this upper level low pressure system to the north. Let me get rid of the live radar as well. And let me turn off the site labels there. Okay. So upper level low up here. It's swinging down this cold front. I mean, it's just a big swirl up in Minnesota, up around Minneapolis. Big occluded system. Occluded means it's just wrapping around itself. And then we've got this front that's kicking into this very warm and moist air over our region. I'm going to get rid of my drawing. Oops. No, don't turn the side over. Zooming in. There. Nope, still want to draw. No more drawing. Take it off. My computer's going crazy. Bear with me. There. Oh, it's drawing again, guys. You can start making fun of me anytime you want here. There we go. We got the drawings off. So we had a report of some sunshine up in Paoli. Yeah, so there are breaks in the clouds. And let me turn on the visible satellite. I know it's heading towards sunset. So, and again, we're kind of chill here because there's not many warnings happening right now. Visible satellite. Let me, infrared. Yeah, getting too dark for visible satellite. So there are some sunny portions. Madison looks like we got sunshine. Seymour, Bedford, Bloomington, some sunshine. Obviously not Louisville with a storm there nearby, and then a lot of clouds over Kentucky. All that green is cloud cover there. I'll take off the satellite. So here's rain, here's satellite. All right, let's stop playing around with that. All right, what else can we bring up here for you? Dew points. Tropical air in place. So as we back up our view, we're going to get this front to move through. Here, look how easy it is to see this front. So behind that front, dry air, cooler air. Out ahead of it, tropical air. Dew points in the 60s, near 70 degrees. I'll take off the temperature. We'll put on the dew point. So incredibly muggy stuff around the area. We'll go full screen on this. Just looking at the ingredients of severe weather is what we're doing right now. So dew points, tropical, 72 dew point. Where is the front? Obviously out towards St. Louis. Look at all this dry air. Dew points in the 40s and 30s in Missouri. Dry air. It's going to feel good tomorrow once this moves through. And then notice these dew points in the 70s. Again, tropical air out ahead of it. So this front is the kicker for the showers and thunderstorms. Moisture-loaded atmosphere is what we have across the area right now. And also, again, as we're just doing a little bit of analysis here, notice the winds coming in from this direction, from the northwest, and then the winds are right here, coming up from the south. Obviously, wind direction shift, that's going to be your front right there. So easy to find that front. Basically, Chicago, St. Louis, down to Dallas. We're out ahead of the front in the soupy air right now. I might need to restart this bad boy. It's been chugging on the data. Okay. I might go ahead and do that. I'm going to give this thing a break. Shutting the program down. We're going to reboot it. I'm just looking over some comments. Thank you, Pauletta, for saying that. So Robin, good question. The storms out in southern Illinois, they heading towards Louisville. They will be heading towards Louisville. There's a lot of the weather model data showing that it'll try to move into a line, and that line might produce some really heavy rainfall, gusty winds, isolated spin-up tornado, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, damaging wind gusts, all that good stuff, bad stuff, later on tonight. So there's still that threat that continues. That's why these watches go so late. Might be pretty quiet now, but things can explode in this atmosphere pretty quickly. It is still a charged up atmosphere. We noticed when we did that front out ahead of it, very, very moist, very unstable air. Oh, Vicky asking, are you always on at this time or just because of the storms? Just because of the storms. Beverly's saying the winds are picking up. Yeah, it's been pretty gusty out there. Roberta Arnold, love seeing you. Keeping us safe. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in here. Just looking at some of the comments. Pauletta, you're so awesome. I listen to your podcast. I don't trust anyone but you. Thank you very much. Try to do the best we can do for our area. No doubt about that. All right. I gave that program a little bit of a break. So let me see if I can bring it back up here. Excuse me. While I pop this back up. And I'm going to go and just bring up the live radar view. Okay, what do we have going on right now? Resetting everything. So we still have this huge tornado watch. Still a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings, tornado warnings. They're just mostly not in our area. So that's good for us. Let me get rid of the watch, that big pink area. That's the tornado watch for all of Kentucky, most of Indiana, and a lot of Ohio. All right, so we'll get rid of that. You got tornado warning west of Bowling Green. You've got this severe thunderstorm warning. I'm going to bring this up full screen so you can see it. So the one severe thunderstorm warning that we have here is in Mount Washington, Spencer County, southern Shelby County, and then towards Frankfort. Most of this thing doesn't look that bad. There's been some hail reports out of it, maybe an isolated wind gust. It says maximum hail size about 1.25 inches. And I'm trying to look, see here if we've had actually any reports from the National Weather Service. So down there in Todd County into Logan County, Kentucky, Weather Service says confirmed tornado on the ground down that, if you know anybody that direction in Kentucky. Let me blow my nose here for a second. I know it sounds wonderful. Still dealing with the sinus infection. Just looking at some of the comments here from the National Weather Service. There's a new updraft showing their hand on the satellite northeastern bullet in Spencer County. So that's why they drew up that severe thunderstorm warning here in Mount Washington. Strong cell. Not seeing rotation with it. Louisville Metro Emergency Services saying dime size hail there west of Mount Washington. We've got Pauletta saying so humid in Waddy right now. Yeah, it is humid everywhere. It is very tropical. And we've got Jatona Barth. Thanks for watching. They're in Anderson County. Thanks for tuning in from there. All right, we'll just look around the radar. Thankfully, things are quiet for southern Indiana right now. What we're waiting on, what are these guys going to do out in Evansville? That's what we're going to need to wait on here. And see what happens with that. I do need to clear some of this stuff up. Let's get rid of those cells, the rotation, the mesos. These are just different products that are all over the radar. I'm just trying to clean it up a little bit so it looks a little bit cleaner. So there is a tornado warning here southwest of Evansville. And again, guys, this is why we can't let our guard down. Things are quiet right now for the most part. There's a severe thunderstorm warning there in Spencer and Shelby County, but it's just producing some, so far, small hail and nothing crazy. And you can see kind of the motion of that storm moving off to the east. And the Weather Service has that moving east at around 55 miles per hour. That severe thunderstorm warning goes till 8:45. That goes towards southern Shelby County, Kentucky, and into Franklin County, Kentucky. All right, just looking around here. Let me go ahead and pause this. So that's what we're waiting on, guys. Active weather there around Evansville. And let me get rid of the severe thunderstorm warning. This is a tornado warning, observed tornado, southwest of Evansville, Indiana, or around the Morganfield area, if you know where that's at. Morganfield, Kentucky, southwest of Henderson, where there's an observed tornado on the ground. Tornado damage threat considerable. So that is that threat. Oops. As we measure this out, well, you know how far Evansville is. That next storm is about 76 miles from Metro Louisville. Just drawing on here a little bit. So let's say from New Albany to the tornado warning is 100 miles to the southwest. It's moving 50. So that would put it, with some easy math there, you're looking at about an hour and a half to 2 hours before that activity is moving towards a lot of our southern Indiana communities and also Louisville. They're moving east, maybe a little northeast component. I'll bring this up full screen so you can see this a little bit better. I just did a little, if you can see that right here, that's the distance from New Albany to the tornado warning is about 102 miles right here. 102 miles away. It's moving east at around 50. So just 100 divided by 50, you got about a couple hours. So hour and a half, 2 hours, heads up. It looks like the potential could start to go up if these things hold together over the next couple of hours, which the atmosphere is still rich and still very buoyant. It's juiced up, supercharged atmosphere, ready to go. We have not lost the energy, even though we're heading towards sunset so far. So yeah, that's what we're watching here. Is, let me get rid of the distance thing, and so all of this moving our direction. So I think that would be the next threat, unless something else pops up, and that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. Man, I'm still learning some of these controls. I've learned that if you're using this thing and you're going between radars and it's popping up all these warnings and the live radar, you might need to restart it, give it a little bit of a break. And then up north, still 4 tornado warnings. All right. You've got a tornado warning there in Connorsville. I'm going to put on the KIND Indianapolis radar and look up to the north. I only have the tornado warnings on right now. There are, watch this, a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings as well in central Indiana and east central Indiana. So this is a look at a tornado. That is a weird shape for a tornado warning. Anyway, that is in Connorsville. Let me put on the base velocity. I mean, it doesn't look crazy to me. Storm relative velocity, not crazy looking to me. Not crazy looking. Yeah, there's some red and green next to each other, but it does not look too wild to me right now. Yeah, I don't see any crazy winds with this right now, but covering their bases a little bit with that tornado warning perhaps there in Connorsville. So if you're in Richmond, you got family in Richmond, Indiana, there you can see that kind of moving to the northeast a little bit. Probably some hail in Connorsville. I'm going to push a pause on this. And so this tornado warning, radar indicated. I don't see a whole lot on the radar with this, but it's moving. That rotation is moving northeast around 38. Keep an eye on it, but it doesn't look crazy to me. All right. And then as we look towards my family in Indianapolis here, I'm going to put back on severe thunderstorm warnings. So Indianapolis, you're back in the severe thunderstorm warning with this active weather off to your west, and then the northern sections of Indianapolis, some hail cores here around Zionsville. And then there's 65 out of downtown at 465. So the northern section of 465 coming into 69. So let me pop this one on. I'm going to go full screen. So Diana, my dad, my brother, my sister, all that live up here around Pendleton, Fortville, Geist. You've got a strong thunderstorm right now. It's probably potential damaging straight line winds. Maximum wind gust 60 miles per hour. Maximum hail about an inch. This is moving northeast at 48 miles per hour right now near Zionsville. Let me go and put a track on it. Let me get out full screen so I can do that. And I'm going to manual tracking. All right. We're going to move it right up I-69 at about 45 miles per hour. We'll go back to full screen. So there you go. Here's for my family up there in Indianapolis. So severe thunderstorm warning expires in 47 minutes. Huge severe thunderstorm warning, by the way. And this is heading towards Carmel or Carmel, however you want to say it up there in Carmel. Fancy part of town there in Indy. Heading there at 8:30. Basically here in the next few minutes, heading towards Carmel. Heavy rain, gusty winds, frequent cloud around lightning, and some hail possible. Into Noblesville about 8:37. Fishers about 8:40. Fortville, that's exit 214 on 69. 8:50 into Anderson at 9 o'clock. Chesterfield. And heading into my old stomping grounds there at Ball State, Muncie at 9:20. All right. Let me get rid of the full screen here. Let me get rid of that storm track. So we got some good hail cores here. We're on the Indianapolis radar. And that's at 465 and 65. There's Meridian Hills. Cruising right down 465 to 31 north. The northern edge of it doesn't look as bad, but heading towards Carmel. Meridian Hills, Castleton, a few minutes away there. So there you can see the northern portions of Indianapolis heading right towards Fishers, Fortville, down 69, capable of some isolated damaging wind gusts and some large hail. So heading your way over the next 15 minutes to a half hour there. Moving down 65 south, tornado warning east of Columbus, Indiana. Look at southern Indiana in the big gap right now. Nothing happening. That is good news so far. Now that we're in our area, we need to bring back on KLVX the Louisville radar. All right. Just an interesting line. It's totally broken apart. Clusters. Severe thunderstorm warning now east of Louisville, southern Shelby County towards Franklin County, towards Frankfort. That storm hasn't seemed so bad. I haven't seen many reports out of that. Diana Peine, my stepmom, you're welcome. I'm trying to keep you guys up to date. I know you guys got a lot of good local television folks up there that are probably keeping you guys updated. Sometimes they don't break in, though, if it's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but we have the power to travel wherever we want. I am not limited to any market. We can go anywhere. Let me get rid of some of this stuff. Crazy the amount of severe thunderstorm warnings in east central Indiana into Ohio. Just a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings. On the very tail end of that cluster in central Indiana, northwest of Bloomington, there is a tornado warning there. There's a little bit of a notch trying to grow with this cell in Taylorsville to Shelbyville. Pretty good hail core here as well. That's just south of 64, south of Shelbyville, right between Shelbyville and Taylorsville. Good hail core. Ragged looking thunderstorm, not super well organized. Let me turn on the velocity and see what we see here, if there's any rotation with this. And then I'm going to pop in. I mean, it's showing some strong winds, not far off the ground. We do have a low-level jet moving in. So if sometimes you can get the low-level jet to get to the ground, kind of like a little channel, like a conduit, when you've got the heavy rain. So sometimes you can get some downburst winds. You can see if you're looking closely here. I'm not sure what you're watching on. We're live on YouTube, by the way. If you go to Extol Weather, EXTOL Media, EXTOL Media. Here's another little strong. Look at that. That's 66 mile-per-hour winds. Again, not too far off the ground there from the radar. Let me get rid of this here. So yeah, there's some strong winds possible in southeastern half of Shelby County right now. And then I'm going to pull up the regular radar view. Good hail core, starting to see a little bit of a curvature. Keeping an eye on it. Notice this little bend right here. You kind of got a rear flank downdraft here, front flank, hail cores going on. It's pretty strong. Just looking at some other products here while we look at this. So these are the Echo Tops. 40,000 foot storm, strong thunderstorm. We're just doing a little analysis here of this storm. This would be your debris ball if we had it. This is your correlation coefficient. Storm Relative velocity, not seeing any strong rotation right now. There's gate-to-gate shear. So many products we can look at. Probability of severe hail. See if we can get this one to pop up. That's probability of severe hail. And then we'll go back to reflectivity. So, yeah, strong thunderstorm here for you in just south of Shelbyville. But you can see Louisville's in the clear right now. And then down, we've got this cell that's been popping up here recently in Hart County, Kentucky, around Bonneville. Looks like a little hail there as well. We got some hailers out there, no doubt about that. And we're waiting on these guys out west, out towards Evansville. There is a tornado warning southwest of Evansville showing the potential of considerable damage. Observed tornado on the ground southwest of Shelbyville. Oh, we got an odd report here in Elizabethtown in Hardin County from the National Weather Service. So this would be non-severe storm related. Odd wind signature in Hardin County that did produce around a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust at the Hardin mesonet. Could be showing an area of better mixing with the low-level jet. So that's what I was talking about. It's really strong winds aloft. And actually, we can kind of bring that up here. If I bring up the future radar, which we haven't seen in a minute. So I'll go ahead and bring that up. Let me take off a lot of this stuff here. And I'm going to bring up the high resolution rapid refresh weather model. I need to back this up to 9 p.m. Let me get rid of the site labels. All right, so this is, I mean, not doing a great job. The weather model, I would say not doing a great job. 8, here's 9 o'clock. But let me show you the 850 millibar winds. Weather model's been struggling with this weather pattern. So here are the 850 millibar winds. So there you go. These are the winds at 5,000 feet. So if you're like, say you're like 20 miles out from Louisville, the planes, the UPS jets coming in about 3,000 feet. And then just a couple feet, 1,000 feet above that, that's these winds just, not far off the deck here. And if you get these strong rain shafts to come down, it can be like a funnel and get these strong winds to the ground. So this is why you just got to watch this environment very closely. Damaging wind gusts possible. So that's the low-level jet that we have over our area right now. All right, let me get rid of some of this stuff and go back to let's bring up the convective available potential energy. So this is basically right now. A lot of it. There's a lot of energy. 3,000 joules per kilogram. Still an explosive atmosphere. Going to clear that out of the way. And we're going to bring up the live radar once again. Obviously, we haven't had many storms around our area. I'm going to get rid of the storm reports. I'm going to get rid of all of this other stuff. And here's the live radar. Big gaps between the storms. And still have the strong thunderstorm capable of some damaging wind gusts and hail there, southeastern Shelby County and south of Frankfort, southern Franklin County. We're in a lull right now. We're in a lull. Not much happening. Louisville's quiet. Southern Indiana, all quiet right now. It's not until you get up into central Indiana where things are still rocking and rolling around Indianapolis. We'll pull up the KIND radar. We've got pea-sized hail 2 miles southwest of Waddy, Kentucky. Good-looking cell in Bowling Green, but right now not much in between. All right, now we're back to Indianapolis radar. That storm is now bearing down on Fishers. And there's Fortville. So there you go. Strong thunderstorm capable of some good-sized hail and some isolated damaging wind gusts here in the northeast side of Indy, heading towards Castleton and Fishers right now. Base reflectivity. Those winds are not crazy. Those winds are not crazy. All right, let me bring back the radar view. So hopefully this won't be too bad as it moves through. Looks like mostly kind of a hail threat. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. So we can just put up a track. This was moving east at about 45 miles per hour. Oh, too close. Too close. I'm going to have to back up. All right, there we go. Heading towards Fortville, 8:55, about 15 minutes. Heading your direction. Give me a grade on that one to my family there in Fortville. So right now it's 8:40. This is showing Fortville at about 8:55. 20 minutes. Heading your direction. Severe thunderstorm warnings all around Indianapolis. Nothing. There's the gap, the big gap in southern Indiana. That's great. The more we can dodge, the better. All right, need to put back on KLVX, Louisville radar. 8:42. Been doing a huge storm dodge here tonight so far, which is fantastic for most of us. And we'll just watch and wait. So these storms are tracking along and south of I-64. The worst of it south of Evansville. Some rain moving into the Ferdinand area and Santa Claus, Indiana. So if you guys were watching earlier this morning, Ben at 10, there was Kentucky cells, clusters. There was central Indiana clusters. And there was this big gap in between. And I was just like, we got to wait and see what happens. So far, there is a big gap in between. We do have a low-level jet helping to produce these storms here. You've got mid-level energy. There's a good shortwave, a ripple in the atmosphere at about 18,000 feet. There's more energy to kick up those clusters in central Indiana. So I'd say that was responsible for that. And then we've got a gap in the middle. So far, so good. Old-fashioned storm dodge right now in southern Indiana. Kind of like a hallelujah. If that stays that way, that would be fantastic. Let me see if I can show you this. Here's some I'm not sure how well the camera can show it. This was Western Kentucky University, downtown Bowling Green a few moments ago. Some large hail there. Bowling Green, so storms south, storms north. Big gap in the middle. So there's that gap in the middle so far. So yeah, if things remain like this, we might have to push the pause button, and I'll just kind of watch it. But right now, things are pretty quiet. I'll go here off to the east of Louisville. Still a severe thunderstorm warning for Franklin in southeastern Shelby County. Look at that timer. Let me see if I can zoom in on this. Watch this warning. Expiring 14, 13, 12, 11. I've never seen a product do this. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's 8:45. Bye-bye. Severe thunderstorm warning in southeastern Shelby County and Franklin County. That was cool. So Lucinda saying the energy here is eerie. Isn't that weird? There is that environment on a possible tornadic day where the atmosphere just feels kind of heavy. There's a lot of moisture out there. The wind is blowing. You can almost, as a human being, feel the ingredients of a possible tornadic day. Thankfully, again, so far, southern Indiana is doing an old-fashioned storm dodge. Look at this. Almost nothing happening here in southern Indiana. It's all happening. Central Indiana and southern Kentucky so far. So far. Ooh, I'm getting crazy with the zoom in. Hold on. Let me get back to normal. Watching the motion of these storms out west along the south of 64. But we have not congealed into that line just yet. And this may happen mainly in Kentucky. Southern Indiana might dodge this thing, or most of southern Indiana, as far as severe storms. Just watching that portion right there for now. So it looks like, yeah, we're going to get wet again. Corydon, Harrison County, Crawford County, Floyd County, a little bit of Du Bois County right now, but that's nothing severe at the moment. Pauletta had really stormy conditions there in Waddy. Yeah, we had that report of some hail there. Looking over some of these reports from a second ago. Paulette had the sky pink and gray. Sometimes it can turn a little kind of purple greenish if you get some hail. Connie Weaver there in Frankfort. Looks like the worst was south of you. Karen's got some family in Fishers. Yeah, severe thunderstorm warning heading towards them right now. Thank you guys for tuning in here to our live stream. Just monitoring the situation. Look at this. Storms east, west, south, north. Nothing happening in southern Indiana. That is great. That is great. All right, let's look up to the north. And I'm looking for the radar. I'm looking for the radar. There, it's hiding right there. Trying to bring up the radar. We take off. And if I'm being quiet, it's because there's just not much to talk about right now. It's not wanting to bring it up. All right, you know what we need to do at this point in time? we need to give her a break. We're going to reload it. We've got some comments here. Ben Steele, pea-sized hail in Spencer County a few moments ago. Thank you for that report there, Ben. Tristan, Salem, Indiana, in the good. In the good right now. I don't see anything popping out west. Right now it's southwest. You know, fingers crossed. Once these storms that are right around Evansville, as they move east, that threat's going to wind down real quick for southern Indiana. So it's 8:49. I was saying that time frame was 7 p.m. until 11 p.m. That, 3 or 4 hour period. Hopefully sooner than that, 10 p.m. Maybe we'll start to see some counties trimmed off of that tornado watch. But, things are looking pretty good so far. I can't give you the 100% clear yet, but things are looking pretty good. Sun has come out in Mount Washington, Kentucky. Andrea, thanks for tuning in from Sellersburg. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let me bring. We gave the radar a rest. Let me bring it back up. We are live in the bunker, Southern Indiana bunker, in my mom's basement. That's where we're at here. All right, let me get rid of some stuff. Always just cleaning this up. I've got a different computer that I use at Extol Media Studios that I've got loaded up a little bit differently. So sometimes I got to clean this one up a little bit. So as I go back here to full screen, still a huge tornado watch all across the Ohio Valley, all of Kentucky, most of southern Indiana, all of southern Indiana. I was saying most of Indiana is what I meant. And then we got these storms moving into western Kentucky that have some warnings. So will it be Kentucky that has the main show for tonight in southern Indiana? Total storm dodge. If that happens, I'll give it to the HRRR. I'll give it to the NAM. They were kind of calling for this gap in the storms for southern Indiana. If any of you guys watched this morning, it was picking up on something. We got Joshua Cook. Skies look like a beautiful Bob Ross painting here in Sellersburg. A little light blue, purple, gray, orange, and a touch of golden rays. Bob Ross actually did those paintings in at Ball State in Muncie, Indiana. I always wanted to buy like a replica Bob Ross. I used to watch him when I used to paint as a little feller in the basement of our house on Airport Road in Centerville, Indiana, all by myself. I would paint down there and make those little happy trees in the clouds and all that fun stuff. We've got Gary Altman, Campbellsville, Kentucky, raining hard at the moment. Let's go down there for you. Yeah, there's been those storms coming out of Hart County and kind of popping up here. We've got a let me clean this up so we don't have the watch on here. It's a little much, all that pink color. All right, so Gary Altman there in Campbellsville. So the worst of it's northwest, you guys in Campbellsville. You got rain in Lebanon. You got a hail core in the northern tip of Greene and Taylor counties right there. And this is a special weather statement. That's not an official warning, but that is moving east at 43 miles per hour, maximum wind gusts around 50, 55, and some 3/4 inch size hail. That's mainly northern Greene and Taylor counties there. And then a bigger thunderstorm around Bowling Green, 21 minutes with a tornado warning there. That's radar indicated tornado moving east at 44. That is right along I-65 at Bowling Green. and then hail there around Brownsville, if you know where that's at. And tornado warning out west. I would say friends in Breckenridge County, friends in Hardinsburg, heads up. It's west of you guys right now. So this is radar indicated tornado. I think this was a tornado observed on the ground earlier, southwest of Evansville. It is a long track supercell. So heads up Hardinsburg and Breckenridge County. This is moving east at 52. So let me try to put a track on this one. Let me get rid of some of these warnings so we can just see the storm. We'll just make it over this whole blob that's over Owensboro right now. Moving east at 45. All right, so here's our estimate. I'll bring this up full screen. Friends in Breckenridge, Meade counties. And let me get my face out of the way. Here's a track for you. Santa Claus, around 9 o'clock. And I know some of you guys are central out there. 9 o'clock Eastern time. Tell City, 9:15 Eastern. Candleton, 9:15 Eastern. Cloverport, let's approach 9:30 Eastern time. Hardinsburg, approach 9:40. There in Breckenridge, and Irvington in Breckenridge County, as you approach 9:50. Pretty good looking supercell. Pretty long lived. We're going to see how well this one holds together. And look at that. You can put it anywhere in that warning, and it'll show you what time it's going to be heading that direction. Still learning all the cool things this program can do. All right, let me get rid of this track. So it looks like up towards Bloomington, north of Bloomington, tornado warning. That's cool. Like, so my daughter's going to IU in the fall, and so I get IU alerts apparently now. So since Monroe County had a warning, I got an alert. So that's cool that they do that. All right, so yeah, up in Bloomington, tornado warning. And then let's go to Indy radar. If we get this pop in. And I'm going to put on severe thunderstorm warnings. Take off all of these. So up in Indianapolis, we're at 8:50. It's past Fortville now. So maybe I was a little ahead of schedule there for my family up in the Fortville, Pendleton area. I gave you 5 to 10 minutes to get ready, I guess. So over you guys right now, heavy rain, a little bit of hail. Doesn't look too crazy, thankfully. Things looking a whole lot better in Richmond, Indiana. With that mess heading into Ohio. And then southern Indiana, storm dodge. Not much happening right now. Let me put back on the Louisville radar. Bowling Green, possible tornado down that way. And then south of Evansville, possible tornado too. Yeah, so a big clustery mess of storms out in Evansville. So heads up for you guys in Hardinsburg and Irvington. If that holds together, that's a pretty strong thunderstorm. Severe thunderstorm there. And then Crawford County, you've got heavy rain heading toward English, heading down 64, heading towards the Milltown area. Not severe. And then, again, nothing in between. Pretty good storm dodge so far. Just looking over National Weather Service chat real quick. They had quarter-size hail in Warren County, Kentucky. Quarter-size hail in Anderson, Kentucky. I'll show you this picture here. All right. So look at this low cloud right there. I don't know how well you can see that. Kind of looks like a tornado, but probably not touching the ground. No other comments there from the National Weather Service chat. So, guys, we're doing good so far. We might just take a break since southern Indiana is not getting hit with severe weather. It's been up in central Indiana. There's been tornado reports there just to the west of Bloomington. Strong thunderstorms moving through Indianapolis. We got the big gap going on. I guess I could show you this while I'm talking about it. The big gap in southern Indiana with not much happening other than some heavy rain moving into Crawford County and around English, heading towards Milltown, Leavenworth. Brooklyn, how's it looking for New Albany? You know, New Albany's likely going to get some of this rain moving in here within a half hour. We'll see how this storm behaves. That's northeast of Evansville. So we might have some activity for some of our counties along the Ohio River in southern Indiana over the next hour or so. But a lot of southern Indiana is dodging the bullet as far as this is concerned. We've got Taylor. We've got tornado sirens there in Ellettsville again right now. Yeah, down south. Woo. Let me stop this. So this is a tornado warning with that hook echo, Smith's Grove, into the Glasgow area of Kentucky, the south of Hart County, Kentucky. And then tornado warning west of Breckinridge County. That's it right now. That's all that's happening. Beverly's saying it's starting to rain in Borden. So yeah, if we zoom into Borden, Indiana, got a little rain. Got a little rain in Borden. Go full screen here. Get my face out of the way. There you go. Good old Borden. Got a little bit of rain. No big deal though. I'm live right down the road. You got light rain and heading into Floyd County, Palmyra, Crandall, Corden, Milltown. Then you got heavy rain around Carefree and English, Indiana, in Crawford County. And then big bad storms in Owensboro. And we're going to see what those guys do. You can see the motion of those moving northeast. So counties along the Ohio River could get some heavy rain, gusty winds. So what are the counties along the Ohio River? You got Perry, you got Crawford, Harrison, Floyd, maybe Clark here over the next hour. Beverly saying it's very windy as well. And yes, Ben, is this the second storm is it going to hit Taylorsville? I'd say there's a pretty good chance that guy holds together. Big question mark how strong it will be once it gets there, but it's heading your direction. So yeah, there's a broken line of storms moving along and south of the Ohio River. That's where we had the storms this morning too. You guys have just been in the zone of storms for today. Where a lot of the other parts of southern Indiana have been dodging it. Yeah, so much of southern Indiana, Bedford, Seymour, Austin, Madison, North Vernon, Paoli, Salem, Livonia, Scottsburg. Quiet right now. Mitchell, nothing happening. Let me bring on the satellite. I mean, that just looks crazy. I don't like the way that looks. Hold on. It's hard when we start losing daylight because we lose the visible satellite, so it doesn't look as good. That's a little bit better, but that's the cloud cover associated with the storms. So it looks like there has been some clearing in some areas as the storms passed on through. Get rid of the satellite imagery. Let's see if we got a new weather model data, because the last one was crap. I'm going to be honest with you. It was not good. It was way too blobby looking. And let me get rid of some stuff. The model data, we're at 9 o'clock, 9:05. So we'll back this up. Let's go to the HER, see if it's got some new data. This is 9 p.m. What do you guys think? There are some storms down in Hart and around Greene, Taylor counties, Marion County, Kentucky. It's not that big necessarily. You got that batch there. Then we do have this batch of storms. So I would say this update with the weather model is better. There are no storms in Louisville or over much of southern Indiana. So it's not perfect. This is weather model data. This is not real radar. We got Gary Altman, raining small hail and winds in Campbellsville. Thank you for that report. Perry, no, my son and daughter did not have their tennis match or baseball game to be safe because of the tornado watch. All right, so this is at 10 p.m. So it just has that cluster kind of along and south of the Ohio River. So again, the counties that I mentioned in southern Indiana along and south of the Ohio River, it looks like that's best chance for these storms. What are we talking about? Probably starting to get a lower tornado threat as we get over the next few hours. Perhaps some isolated flash flooding if we get some of these storms over the same areas. I think that'll be real localized as well. Frequent cloud ground lightning. You're going to get isolated damaging wind gusts and possibly some large hail. Here's 11 p.m. Notice southern Indiana in the clear. Already in the clear. Much of southern Indiana has been in the clear doing the storm dodge. Awesome. Kentucky getting the main event from the main event here. Getting kind of the bullseye with this stuff. That's at 11 p.m. And then here is midnight. Just a big blob of rain starting to move into kind of the Cumberland Parkway areas, eastern Kentucky by that time. So yeah, if we don't start seeing things explode over the next few minutes here in southern Indiana, we'll just wrap this thing up. We'll call it a day, and hopefully that's the case. We'll call it a storm dodge here in southern Indiana. Tornado watch. Look how big it is. It's huge. It's everywhere. Get rid of that watch. All right, so here's what we have. I'm going to blow my nose, so bear with me. I know it's so pleasant. Oh, my grandma just sent me a picture from outside the front window. Here, I'll show you it. Out the back, it's dark because there's woods back there. So these are mammatus clouds my grandma just took. My 98-year-old grandma. All right. She probably, maybe she's watching upstairs. All right. So this is a photo from my grandma. Let's see if I can. Will it take a good view of it? Trying to get better lighting for it. You can't really see it. Oh, there we go. So those pouchy looking clouds are mammatus clouds. You can see the sun underneath it in the distance. So what are mammatus clouds? So it's a lot of meteorologists' favorite cloud. It's kind of like upside down convection almost. They look like pouches, okay? What is mammatus? That comes from the Latin, which makes the word mammary glands, if you guys know what those are. So they look like breasts, is what we're trying to say. Mammatus clouds. So those are turbulent skies. Airplanes do not want to fly through the mammatus clouds, associated around thunderstorms, sometimes under the anvil or the front of a thunderstorm. So why would we have mammatus clouds in Borden, Indiana? Well, as we bring up the radar, we've got a thunderstorm out west. So we would be kind of under the anvil of that thunderstorm and getting some of those mammatus clouds. So thank you, Grandma, 98-year-old Grandma Norma, pitching in on the severe weather or lack of severe weather coverage over southern Indiana. There is a severe thunderstorm warning now for western Crawford County and in Du Bois County. So parts of southern Indiana starting to get some action here as I put on this loop. Cindy popping in. And Sheila Milburn, I took a great pic a few minutes ago of the sky. Yeah, this environment with these storms surrounding the area are going to produce some amazing clouds. Lillian Lasley popping in here. Hello to you. And I know the minute like I pop off, like if we quit the live stream, that's probably when the storms will just explode. But southern Indiana has been doing a good storm dodge so far. Just looking at some text here. So this that Perry County, and then we got a severe thunderstorm warning for Breckenridge County now. I was telling you guys earlier to watch out there in Breckenridge County. So that storm is on your doorstep there. Perry County as well in Indiana. And around the Ferndon area, hail heading your direction. So you got a severe thunderstorm warning now for Breckenridge County. And that goes until 9:45 Eastern time. 1.5 inch hail, damaging hail, wind gusts 60 mile per hour possible for Breckenridge County. Includes Hardinsburg. Clustery looking stuff out west. Perry County, some hail there, and then just really wet over Crawford County. A lot of that rain starting to move to Harrison County. There you see heavy rain coming down around Milltown, around Highway 64, cruising down Interstate 64 as well. And so you've got activity hugging the Ohio River right now. I'll just leave this loop up. While I was looking over some of these texts. Check back in with the Louisville National Weather Service. So Bowling Green was getting quarter-size hail, not surprising there. And they just mentioned they issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Du Bois County. But what else we got? You still have storms around Indianapolis. A lone storm there northeast of Bloomington. Much of southern Indiana is quiet. Love it. Big storm dodge going on for most. Watching this last bit of activity out west that has some warnings on it into Du Bois County and Crawford County, Indiana. Jackie Strange, thanks for all the information. Looking okay in Georgetown. It is. It is looking good. Much better than the alternative, which could be destructive tornadoes, which have happened out west. And we can put on the storm reports here for today. So there are, look at all these tornado reports up around Bloomington. Tornado report by the public, that was at 7:38, 7:25 around Bloomington. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tornado reports in Monroe County. And then in Brown County, southeast of Nashville, multiple leveled homes in the Bellsville Pike area. Tornado, 8 p.m. So a little over an hour ago, multiple leveled homes. Tornado was visible from the south side of Columbus, Indiana, 8:09, 1 hour ago. And tornado reported from the fire department. So it looks like tornado on the ground in Brown County and in Monroe County in Indiana. You got a bunch of wind reports and hail reports up around Indianapolis. We got gapped. There's a hail report, dime size, not a big deal there in Jennings County, Indiana, around North Vernon. No storm reports over anywhere else in southern Indiana. A couple hail reports around Mount Washington, Kentucky. There is still this tornado warning that is nervously close to Breckinridge County now. So I want to give you friends there around the Rough River, right along the Grayson Breckinridge County line. Tornado warning just west of you guys. Let me go ahead and clear off the storm reports. Let me also clear off these warnings. So these storms have been pulsing up. So you see this storm here around Huntingburg, just south of Jasper, Ferdinand. We just need this to get through, and then we're fine for the rest of the night. Okay? Hey, feeling the love from Carrie Philpott. Thank you guys for tuning in. Zooming around, touring around the radar. I'll put it up full screen. I'll get my face out of the way. Okay, so New Albany getting a little sprinkly right now. Thankfully, that's all we've had to track so far. Not much. A little better shower there between Galena and Greenville up Highway 150. Much heavier rain heading into Palmyra. And through Crawford County, you got some heavy rain. Strong thunderstorm near Leavenworth, near the Horseshoe Bend of the Ohio River. Bigger thunderstorms with hail in Du Bois County, right around the Huntingburg area. Not far from Patoka as well. And then the worst storm out here near Owensboro, Rockport. There is a tornado warning on that. On the southern side of that storm, heading towards the Fordsville area. So, again, a little close for comfort if you're in the Rough River area. Jackie saying, hoping for no tornadoes. Don't want to have to go round up the dogs and cats and go to the basement. I understand all that. So far, we're in pretty good shape. Severe thunderstorm warnings here expires in about 11 minutes for Du Bois County and western Crawford County. So starting to see a little activity out west. So the night not completely done. If you're watching from Clark and Floyd County, just kind of keep your eye on the motion of those storms there around Jasper and Ferdinand. And of course, Louisville, Meade County, Breckinridge County, severe thunderstorm warning is into the Hardinsburg area. So that storm's heading your direction pretty soon. This has a storm moving east at 67 miles per hour. It is trucking along. So we can put a track on that. We'll just kind of do this whole blob right here. If it's traveling that fast, let's do this. Let's kind of ballpark it. Not 100% guarantee, but give or take this track. But generally, because portions of it speed up, portions of it lag behind. I've just kind of got a big blob on this one. So heading towards Valley Station, 9:55, so about 35 minutes. PRP, Pleasure Ridge Park, 9:56, New Albany, as we head towards 10 o'clock, maybe a little bit sooner. There's rain before that, but I'm talking about the stronger thunderstorms. And then into Metro Louisville, 10 o'clock, Clarksville, 10, Jeffersonville, 10, Okolona, 10:05, Newburgh, 10. So basically, 40 minutes, and we'll see what these thunderstorms do. Let me get rid of the track there. So there you go. There you go. We got some storms firing up along and south of the river. So if you're north of those storms, say if you're Paoli, Salem, Scottsburg, Madison, North Vernon, Seymour, Bedford, Mitchell, Brownstown, spots in between, so far so good, right? It's tracking all south of you, and hopefully that trend continues. As that should be it. That should be it as far as the storms. There's nothing behind all that. That should be it once that moves through. All right, that's all we have right now. So starting to see a storm bump into Breckinridge County. A lot of heavy rain in Perry County, Indiana. All right, so we got light rain now in Louisville. We'll just kind of slowly tour the radar here as we go full screen. You got regular light rain in Louisville and New Albany, Floyd County, a little bit of light rain in Sellersburg and Georgetown, Palmyra up 150, some heavier rain your way. Some of that might sneak into Borden and Pekin as it moves northeast. And then you got your stronger thunderstorm with a severe thunderstorm warning up around the Birdseye area. Just had a gust of wind move through here. I can hear my mom's wind chiming. Let me see if we can locate that gust with the base velocity. So yeah, we got a low-level jet. So sometimes these winds can come to the ground, showing like 40 mile an hour. Red is outgoing wind, outgoing from the radar, which is in Fort Knox. Clear that out of the way. So we're looking at the reflectivity. I mean, we're looking at the velocity mode here. Some of the wind speeds. We're off the ground a little bit. You know, there's some gusts showing 40. Nothing insane as far as the wind gusts. So just watching and waiting. Been a big waiting game in southern Indiana here. Just getting some rain and some gusty winds on occasion. Rain starting to spread into the Borden area, Pekin, Greenville, Galena, Palmyra. This is not severe. This is regular rain. And let's keep it like that. Let's keep southern Indiana tame here tonight. You got some warnings there. Western Crawford County, Indiana, and eastern Du Bois County. That's it for southern Indiana right now. And southern tip of Perry County, and then tornado warning bumping up against Breckenridge and Grayson counties in Kentucky. Yeah, so hopefully, you know, we'll get this to pass through in the next hour or so, just for the counties mainly along the Ohio River, although we're starting to sneak in some of that rain as it tracks northeast into southern Orange County. So parts of Orange County, you might get some hail out of that as that tracks your direction. I've got some reports coming in. Christopher, Rat's power flickering here in Pekin. Yeah, I had a pretty good gust move through here too, only about 10 miles away from you. Will Shields, nice you're doing the weather. Thanks, Will, for tuning in here. Beverly's saying the wind picking up very windy in Borden. So yeah, it seems like we're getting some of that low-level jet wind to make it to the ground thanks to some of that rain. Although not severe, maybe some 40-mile-per-hour gusts probably. Kyle, that seems a little bit back and forth. Like I'm not letting the guard down. You still got a tornado watch, and you still got some cells firing up. You still have a very warm, moist, unstable environment. You still got some ingredients out there. Robert Barnes saying the radar looks like ET trying to phone home. Is it like ET is riding the bicycle? So Diane Brahm asking, but what about Mount Washington? Yeah, that cluster of stuff, I'd say around, 10 to 10:30 heading your way. Could still be on the strong side. We got a what about Hardinsburg? Look at Hardinsburg. In that severe thunderstorm warned area, you're going to have the potential for some damaging wind gusts and large hail heading your direction there, Joyce. So I would just stay inside, let that pass through. The tornado warning is just southwest of you. That's that pink area. That's in the Fordsville area. So I would say mainly damaging wind gusts. You can see that rain heading your way into Cloverport right now. So there you go. That's probably going to last about a half hour and then be in and out of your area. Nathan Haas, wind really picking up in Borden right now. Yeah, I had the winds chiming here out of my mom's backyard. Some gusty winds on this leading edge of these storms. Perry Porter saying the electric fluttering and the wind picking up. Thanks, guys, for the reports. Keep them coming. Yeah, definitely can be gusty as these showers and storms move through. Even if not severe, the winds can definitely blow around right across the full moon. ET, yeah. I think I'm kind of seeing the ET. Maybe I'm going crazy because I've been talking for 2.5 hours here, Robert, but Oh man. Whoa. I think we just had a tree fall in the backyard on the house. This would be the second tree on my mom's house. Just a second. Oh my gosh. Huge tree. Huge pine tree. Just fell in my mom's house. I'll be right back. Another huge tree. Okay. All right, we're back. Huge oak tree. Just about took out my mom's house. Right outside the back there. There are some like little limbs on the roof. This tree is enormous. So, and it's just touching part of the back garage. As it says on the bottom here, 812-294-3595. Lions Roofing just replaced, got done a couple weeks ago. Half of her roof got hit by a pine tree from that storm like a month and a half ago or whatever, late March, early April. That tree landed on her roof. This tree is over her backyard, mostly kind of skimmed her house. I hope it didn't do any damage. Crazy. But, you know, it's been so saturated here lately. And even if not a severe gust and a steep hill out the back, it can take down these trees. That is a monster tree. Looks like we're going to be firing up the chainsaws here this weekend. A lot of firewood my mom's going to have. I'm glad nobody's outside. I'm glad the dogs weren't outside. But everybody's okay. Okay. Sheila, that sums it up. Oh no. And Beverly Haggis, glad everybody's okay. She just had a tree fall. Yeah, huge tree. Huge pin oak, I believe is what it is. I don't think it was a chestnut oak. Usually those white oaks are usually solid and you don't have to worry about them. But yeah, we had a huge tree fall. Yeah, Richard Baker. You and your mom have all the luck. Hope everybody's okay. You can't make this up. You don't get this kind of live coverage from the networks. I've got the ground truth right here. We've got gusty winds. My mom's roof about got taken out by what would have been a heavier tree. Pine trees are lighter wood. Oak is heavy. Oak would have destroyed this part of this house. All right. Robert says, know your pain. We've had a tree that's been sitting on our house for about 2 years. We got lucky it didn't do too much damage. All right, back to the radar. Again, everybody's okay. Big tree over the backyard. I don't think it did any damage. Hopefully, I'm going to go check it out here in just a second. Good Lord. Good Lord. All right. Yeah, gusty winds in Borden. I can confirm. And look at this. Like not even thunderstorms. Go figure. I'll put on the base velocity. All right, so leading like low level jet, the leading edge of these showers just channeled it to the ground. Look at these winds. Not far off the ground. I mean, the radar is not that far away. That leading edge, 50 plus mile an hour winds just took that tree straight down. Crazy, crazy, crazy. No more trees falling, please. The winds are howling out there. So we got so not severe thunderstorm, but tree came down. I guess I should report this to the National Weather Service. I'm just making a report to the National Weather Service about this tree down. All right. And we've got Kimberly White. Winds picking up in the Berg, Sellersburg, lots of lightning. Got thunder in Germantown. So we get some lightning strikes out of this stuff. But I would totally say atypical. The rain's not heavy. Not what you typically think of for a severe thunderstorm. Like no warnings with this stuff in southern Indiana. The only warnings we got are in Breckenridge County, Hardinsburg. You're probably getting some really gusty winds. So despite no warnings and what looks like the most garden variety showers, just took down a huge tree right behind me. We're talking, I can see the tree 30 feet from where I'm sitting right now. Huge oak tree. I'll take a picture of it a little bit later. I'll take a picture of it right now. I'll be right back. these. Two trees. Oak tree, big, huge pine tree on top of the propane tank. I think the propane tank is okay. Still really gusty out there. All right, so a huge pine tree and a large oak tree. And it took off. She's got a generator, and the lines from the generator go along the outside wall to the house, and it took part of that cabling off. There's a look at it. That tree. That is the very tip of the tree. But the tree in the middle of the trunk is huge. It's resting on the propane tank. I did not see a puncture in the propane tank. This is more toward a different portion of it's still the top of the tree. Thankfully, it's mostly like the top third of the tree. There's an oak tree and a pine tree that came down on top of each other. You can see this. Branches everywhere. So I guess we got trees down. It probably not just my mom's backyard. People know. Let me put the radar back up. I'm sorry. It's turned into a personal. All right. It's 9:42. And you got a new warning here for light Breckenridge County, severe thunderstorm warning. That could be clipping parts of Louisville here in the next half hour. So gusty winds, possible tree damage. Insane. Trees and power lines down in Pekin, Indiana. So no warnings on it, but I can confirm damaging wind gusts, southern Indiana, from showers. They look just like showers on the radar. Yeah, I know there's lightning. That lightning is coming from some of the heavier stuff. New Albany, heavy rain, lightning and thunder, gusty winds. So this is, I can go full screen. We'll just do a tour of the radar. And I'm going to probably wrap this up since we got huge trees down in my mom's backyard. We got Diane Miller, lightning here now. Power out in Pekin from Jamie Royal. Thanks for that report. Amanda got us. It did. Amanda, I just saw your comment. Richard Baker won't be playing golf anytime soon. Lots of firewood. Yeah, my mom's going to be having lots of fires. Jennifer Flisbart, crazy wind here too. Yeah. The winds are crazy for these storms that don't look that bad. We got a low-level jet. I showed you the low-level jet. We're tapping in the low-level jet. We're getting some of those winds to the ground. So New Albany, zooming in here a little bit tighter. I'll go full screen. Heavy rain for you guys heading to Clarksville between I-65, 150, and the Lee Hamilton Expressway. And gusty winds, rain, Sellersburg, much of Clark County. And then you got regular rain there in Livonia, Hardinsburg, Milltown. Heavier rain coming down in Corden. And hail is here in Meade County, northern half of Breckenridge County. Want to thank Junior Sullivan in Pekin. He owns the feed mill there. He's told me the tree and power lines down there in Pekin. So we're probably going to get a lot more of those reports. I'm going to send that report to the National Weather Service as well. Just got to report 60 plus mile per hour winds in Campbellsville. With that, severe thunderstorm warning there in Columbia, Kentucky. Heads up there. There's a good hook echo there too that might clip southern portions of Adair County. And then severe storms moving through Breckenridge and Meade counties and southern Harrison County, and likely is going to clip at least the southern half of Metro Louisville. If not, all of Louisville going to get some heavy rain, gusty winds. So we're getting a lot of reports here. Clark County Emergency Management reports the trees down across the road, 23,000 block of Dan Gray Road in Borden, Perry Crossing Road at 31 in Sellersburg, Slate Run Drive and US 31 in Sellersburg, 15,000 block of North US 31, Route 31 Sellersburg, Winding Road at 31 Sellersburg, 1,500 block of Hebron Church Road in Henryville. So we're getting impacts here. There were no warnings on this. Low-level jet winds tapping into the showers, translating that, channeling it to the ground. So a lot of reports of we got Washington County Emergency Management in Indiana, trees down all over Pekin, several power lines down. No time to list them all right now, helping 911 answer calls. That's in Washington County around the Pekin area. 60 mile per hour winds occurring now in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Jared Heil, my former coworker, his parents east of Henryville, reporting 56 mile per hour wind gust at their home weather station. I'm just chatting with the National Weather Service just a second. Trying to give the time of the tree falling. Tree down into gas line on Crest Drive. Gas smell in the Pekin area. That's like the same time the tree fell right out here. All right, so tree down, power lines in at Main Street and Tash Street in Pekin, Indiana. Trees down on Beck's Mill in Salem. Du Bois County, some trees down. Vehicle hit tree and roadway. Occupant may have been injured on State Road 64 in Du Bois County. Again, tree down into a gas line on Crest Drive in Pekin. My report, huge oak tree and pine tree in my mom's backyard. On the propane tank, clip part of the house. Jared Heil up in Henryville, 56 mile per hour wind gusts. Emergency management in Washington County, trees down, helping them answer 911 calls. Sorry, guys. I guess I could put the radar up instead of looking at me. All right, so basically counties along and south of the Ohio River, and then the worst storms moving through Kentucky. Tornado warning for southern Adair County in Kentucky, and then severe thunderstorm warnings here in southern Harrison County, Meade, Breckinridge County. Looks like a portion of that could impact Louisville in the next half hour. Tornado watch will gradually be canceled for areas. Just talking with different trees down. Okay, eventful night. Everybody's okay here. Just big trees laying along the back of the house here. Hope you guys are all right. Pekin got hit hard. Looks like Sellersburg. A lot of trees down around 31. Perry Crossing. Robert Barnes saying, I lived in Borden a few years. That area gets short straw on the backside of the hill. Yeah, we get our hills are nothing to play around with. They're crazy out here. Look at your Sheila. Yeah, it is crazy. This rain was not much rain here, just wind. Elisa Gardner, power out in Borden and Martinsburg Road, up the hill there. Robert Baker, thanks for providing the reports. Felt like we had our own personal meteorologist. You do. I'm here for you guys. Georgetown getting hit there. Cindy Slisher was crazy windy, now eerily calm, not a leaf moving. Yeah, that was that front edge, that leading edge, that low-level jet. That's not only gave us damaging winds with not much rain, but also is powering some of these strong thunderstorms southwest of Louisville right now. So there is a new tornado warning that goes into Hardin County and southern Breckinridge County. So heads up there, guys. Tornado warning for 20 minutes, moving east at 62 miles per hour, maximum hail 1 inch. That's just west of Elizabethtown, just west of E-Town, west of 65. That is a tornado warning for Rough River. Remember a half hour ago, I said, watch out, Rough River, Rough River, Rough River, Rough River. Tornado warning over your area now. Southern half or third of Breckinridge County, Kentucky. Western Hardin County, Kentucky. Northern sliver of Grayson County, including Rough River. Tornado warning. Seek shelter. DJ Zip, hello to you. Happy Friday. We've been going on for 2 hours and 55 minutes. Let me get out full screen mode. Let me go to into velocity. There's a lot of velocity out there. Lots of strong wind gusts. Look at this. Right off the deck. So the radar's here. We're like right over treetop. 50-mile-per-hour winds. Southern Harrison County, right along the river, east of Brandenburg, right around Brandenburg. Potentially damaging winds. That would be heading towards PRP, West Point, Fort Knox. 60-mile-per-hour winds near Irvington. You got a tornado warning here because of this red and green next to each other in southern Breckinridge County. And so please be watching out there, some rotation. It doesn't look crazy. I could put on the CC, the correlation coefficient. Might take a minute to pop on. The radar's been chugging on a lot of data. Let's see if it'll load this up. All right. Tons of reports of trees down. Pekin, Henryville, Sellersburg. I'm sure I'm missing some other areas. Kyle, when will severe weather threat be over in southern Indiana? Very soon. Looks like this is going to start moving into mainly Kentucky. Thank you for saying that. Kyle, glad everybody's okay. And Mike Missy, just high wind gust there in Starlight. Had some power outages on the other side of the hill, Martinsburg Road, over from you guys. I'm in the basement, safely in the basement. Glad I was, because a tree almost took out the roof. 2 trees, 2 huge trees in the backyard. Beverly saying, my weather radio is going off for a thunderstorm warning. Let's go back to the reflectivity. I'm not seeing a debris ball, by the way. That's why I put that on the correlation coefficient. I don't see any severe thunderstorm warning. There's a special weather statement for wind gusts 55 miles per hour for these showers in Clark County. Yeah, watch and look at this. Again, not far off the ground. Oh, it's on my face. Put on the radar, goofball. All right. Full screen. So I was just hitting some of these pixels. You're looking at 50 mile per hour wind gusts on the leading edge of these showers. It's acting like a little channel and taking down these low-level, the low-level jet and getting those winds to the ground. In fact, let me go ahead and put up the weather model data, and it's going to show us the low-level jet. Clear some of this stuff off of so much stuff on here. So we'll go 850 millibars. That's 5,000 feet. We can go lower. So yeah, low level jet. It's now 10 p.m. So it's got the low level jet east of us, but obviously still over us. Let me go a little bit lower. This is getting down to like just above the treetop level. So it's been gustier than that. Moral of the story, gusty winds coming down from not far above the treetops to the surface, obviously, because we're getting damaging wind gusts. Okay, let me bring back live radar. We'll probably wrap this up very soon. We're going to sum up what we have going on. One of our counties, Lawrence County, not under a tornado watch anymore. We're going to get rid of a lot of this stuff. So Louisville, you guys have a severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 10:30. So that timing was right. It's 10 o'clock, and that is the timing that we gave you about a half hour ago on this cell. This is a strong one here, heading right towards West Point, Fort Knox. It's moving through Harrison County, heading towards the casino, PRP, be seeking shelter. You got kind of a bow echo thing happening here. Notice this right here. That's going to be some strong winds, possibly some hail, damaging wind potential right on the radar, right on the radar. Base velocity. right on the radar is right around near 60-mile-per-hour winds. Not going to be surprised if we get power outages around Fort Knox, PRP, Western Bullitt County, northern Hardin County right there. Look at that. It's got that bow echo shape as well. So there you go. Bowing out. Apex of the bow is where you get damaging winds. That would be near Jefferson Memorial Forest, right at the Bullitt Jefferson County line. Heads up for some damaging winds. All right. Southern Indiana. We've got gusty showers. There you see Floyd, Harrison, Southern Clark, Sellersburg, Clarksville, Jeffersonville, near Charlestown, Sprinkley. I can still hear the winds behind me. If you're just tuning in, we got some big trees on the ground in the backyard, clip part of the house. All right, so that's what we have. Severe thunderstorm warning until 10:30 p.m. for all of Louisville, pretty much all of Louisville. Storm moving east at 75 miles per hour. Inch hail, 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts are going to be possible. This is your main event, Louisville. Bullitt County. Seek shelter. 70-mile-per-hour winds possible. Power lines, tree damage, power outages. The potential is there, especially PRP, Valley Station, Fort Knox, West Point, Shepherdsville, Fairdale, Radcliffe. Heads up, Elizabethtown. You've got a tornado warning just west of you. I think mostly damaging wind gusts, though. And Grayson County. Just stay inside till that moves through. So it is finally congealed into this line that's taken forever. So we started this. It's 7 o'clock. We're 3 hours and 3 minutes into waiting for this to congeal and move through. This yellow is a special weather statement. East at 56 miles per hour, wind gust 55. Most of southern Indiana has dodged the bullet. You can see that. But the counties along the Ohio River were right on the nose of the low-level jet, had the jet winds hit the ground, trees down, power outages in Pekin. A lot of areas. Borden, Sellersburg. I'm looking at some other reports here from the National Weather Service. So the Weather Service is saying storms have decayed over southern Indiana. Light showers are bringing strong winds aloft to the surface, what I've been talking about for the last 45 minutes. So an SPS will be issued for gusty showers, 55 miles per hour. Hearing some thunder. All right, so we got some excitement here in the counties along the Ohio River in Indiana. Everywhere else dodged it, thankfully. Tornadoes on the ground, Bloomington, Columbus, Brown County, Indiana. And then we got damaging winds in Borden, Pekin, possibly Henryville. Yeah, we got some storm reports here that are popping up in Pekin and in Henryville. Why aren't they putting mine up? Come on, guys. I got 2 trees down here. Probably because I didn't give an address. It's probably my fault. That one's on me, probably. All right. But I did tell them Borden. Severe thunderstorm warning, Louisville, Bullitt County, northern Hardin County around Radcliffe. That extends into Spencer County, into Nelson County, includes Mount Washington, all of Louisville pretty much, western Shelby County into southern Oldham County. Tornado warning expires in 10 minutes for western Hardin County, southern Breckenridge County. I think that has just turned into a severe thunderstorm warning, in my opinion. I don't see much rotation there. A new severe thunderstorm warning that covers the rest of Grayson County. So along and west of I-65 in Kentucky, severe damaging straight line wind threat mainly. Can be a spin-up tornado. That is going to be possible. All right, my head's about to explode. I think that's going to wrap it up. If you're in Kentucky, tune into your favorite local weather station. I'm sure they are covering it live right now. Things are wrapping up in southern Indiana as the worst of it's starting to move into Louisville right now. There you see the heavy rain moving into Louisville. I'll do a quick tour of the radar, and that's probably going to wrap it up. We've been on for over 3 hours. Gusty showers over Clark. There you see Charlestown and Sellersburg, steady rain, gusty showers, possibly over 50 miles per hour. There's New Albany, Jeff. New Albany might be clipped by some of this heavier rain. There's Harrison County, heavy rain down towards Elizabeth and the Casino. Southern Harrison County, heavy rain, gusty winds. Very heavy rainfall, possibly damaging wind gusts. Maybe some tree power line damage around Shively, Audubon Park, Fairdale, Valley Station, PRP. Radar site, that's Fort Knox, heading into Bullitt County. Hillview, Highview, Shepherdsville, heads up. That gust, that line right there, that leading edge, that's where you're going to get the worst wind gusts. Going to come over I-65 here in the next few minutes into Radcliffe. There's that tornado warning that expires pretty soon. Maybe a little rotation there west of Elizabethtown. Get ready, though, for some gusty winds as that moves into your area, into Elizabethtown. All areas along the west of I-65 as that storm moves over your area. All right. All right, Vicki Lanham, thank you for watching. Appreciate that. Beverly, that must have been for the very southern tip of Clark County. That's right. It was not for Borden. Ellen, we're safe. A couple huge trees down in the backyard, though. We're going to have a lot of firewood. Lillian, the tornado warning is down in Hardin County. It's not in your area. There was a severe thunderstorm warning, though, in Louisville for the most southern tip of Clark County, and then also Floyd County and Harrison County. Corey Anderson, thank you for watching. Lillian, you stay safe. Everybody stay safe tonight. Hope you guys get the power back up in Pekin, parts of Borden. Vicky Berger up in Salem, thank you. Appreciate it. Glad you guys dodged pretty much everything tonight. A lot of our southern Indiana counties dodged the bullet. Mike Missy, thanks for tuning in here. Hoping minimal damage. I think so. Just part of the electrical conduit from the generator to the house pulled off the outside wall. Large tree on the propane tank, but I think the propane tank was stout enough to hold it. I think that's all we got so far. Peggy Sipes, thank you very much. Sarah in Middletown, not much activity at the moment. Heads up, though, strong storms heading your way. And MJ, RJ in Eastview. Yeah, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. It's going to be heading your direction down Shelbyville Road here in just a second. So damaging wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour possible, maybe some hail. Okay, 3 hours, 10 minutes in. We'll wrap this up. See how the grandmas are doing. Thank you, Mom. My mom's 75 upstairs. My grandma's 98 years old. My grandma, 98, took some pictures of mammatus clouds and was part of the show tonight. So thanks, Grandma. I'm going to go upstairs, see how everybody's doing. Thanks for tuning in. Whether it's on Extol Media, give us the like and subscribe on Extol Media on YouTube. You can bring us up full screen on your big screen TV. And we'll keep you updated all the time. Ben at 10, Monday through Friday. Extol Media Live. My Facebook page, Meteorologist Ben Peine, P-E-I-N-E, and on Extol Weather on YouTube or on Facebook. No, yeah, Facebook. I'm getting all discombobulated here. So yeah, you got Extol Weather Facebook, my page on Facebook, Extol Media on YouTube, Extolmag.com/weather. We got the live stream there as well. Interactive radar. Lots of weather tools there too. Jackie Strange, I'll let you be the last one. As always, thanks. Go get some sleep. Everybody rest well. Southern Indiana, we're clearing out. Kentucky, you've got a little while longer. Check in with your favorite local news station for coverage. They're on right now. They're all great. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you next time. Tune in, Ben at 10, Monday morning.